This is Paul.
Hey, Paul, it's Kevin Reeves.
Kevin Reeves.
What's going on, man?
Not much. So we've got a big portfolio of positions at Meade and Palo that we want to show you.
I'd love to see it.
It's under the WSPP.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming I can tell you the counterpart. I want to talk to my lawyer first and say I'm not stepping any bounds. But what we're doing is we're generating, it's a big portfolio. It's probably like 20, I don't know, I'm saying north of 20 deals, varying terms, probably nothing exceeding 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty high price stuff. So it's well in the money for us. But, what I'll do is I'll forward that over to you, and you can take a look. Now, let me ask you this. Any update on Pinnacle Peak / you looked at the El Paso deal also?
Right.
And I guess that's the other question. I've been working with Mackie on some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to waste your time, and I'm sure you don't want to waste my time if you guys just don't want to look at these assignments. What I'm hearing from the bankruptcy court is that it's going to be we're going to be given a lot of latitude to potentially execute on these assignment deals, the ones with consent on all parts.
Mm-hmm.
Or even without consent, there might be ways that the bankruptcy judge has unilateral ability to just assign the deals to someone who's creditworthy and all that stuff. So,
gotcha.
So I guess, the question is, are you guys interested? And secondly, is pricing going to be something that is considered, quote-unquote, reasonable? Because, we do not want to be on undue scrutiny if we do something where it's way off market.
Right. I would say, and I've said this before, I would think we're interested, but again, we may not be able to move as quickly as we would like, because I think we're going to have to take a look at kind of what the effects, what the bankruptcy, allows us to do.
Right. And we can get you guys more comfortable with some of the things, but fundamentally, assuming you can get comfortable with the legal risk, which I think in the next couple of days we can get you something, probably early next week we can get you something that says, here's the situation, have your lawyers take a look at it,
right.
Tell us if this is something that is viable, and then we can start talking about pricing, and really all you're doing is buying a book of business.
Exactly.
So.
Which I would imagine, as part of the bankruptcy, you're going to have to sell that at some point anyway, aren't you?
Right.
So I guess that's the part that and that's really more a question for our folks internally than you. But
and I guess there are other. What we're hearing is, I'm not saying. To me, the cleanest is an assignment that you pay us some money for a fair amount of money. You guys get a good deal. We get the creditors get a good deal, and this business or this trade gets liquidated or terminated or reassigned, whatever you want to take a look at.
Right.
But the bankruptcy, what we're finding out, in bankruptcy, those guys have a lot of latitude to do a lot of things.
Right.
And if we can't if people aren't looking to buy our contracts or assign, there's going to be other ways to extract value from those contracts. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Ones that probably are not pleasant for our counterparties, but nonetheless, something that is legal and has been done, has precedence.
Right. Well, we've actually we're taking a look at that, and it appears that basically you all, if your counterparty terminates the contract for you all not performing, they still owe you the mark-to-market.
It's two-way. Yeah.
Right.
And anyone who the best is when we had people say, "We're terminating, we're out."
Mm-hmm. Cool.
You know what? And I go, did you send that letter? And they go, yeah. You know what? You're going to have to owe us $50 million in about 5 days.
Upon further review.
Or have some type of stay, because your lawyer sucks.
Right.
Or if they didn't consult a lawyer, that's even worse, right? They can't even blame it on anyone. But yeah, you're right. All these contracts have two-way termination.
Right.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Right. It's funny. I'm sure when people are thinking about the way the termination might work, that this is probably a scenario that they never quite gained out.
Right. And we never thought either.
Who did? But
a lot of people are saying, well, we just won't terminate.
Well, fine.
Well, yeah. You're gonna. The bankruptcy judge is gonna try to do what's best for the creditors.
Right.
And if that means forcing termination, unilaterally, we don't know if if that is going to happen, or if that can happen, or what the rules are. Still, that's filtering in. But a lot of people are saying it's been done before.
Right.
Why wouldn't it be?
Why wouldn't it be done this time?
Right. So I think I think the cleanest and something for the customers, so that they don't have this financial bullet tomorrow, is to do some type of assignment with credit-worthy counterparty like Reliant.
Right.
And then you guys get a potentially good deal based on what your cost of capital is, assuming you're comfortable with the contract and the counterparty. And that's, to me, that is the win-win that we're kind of shooting for as the first step. Now, if that doesn't work out, I think I'm pretty much, I extract myself from that position.
Mm-hmm.
And I get out, because it's going to be, I feel like I provide very little value now. I will provide zero value in about 3 weeks. Right? I mean, you probably need a law degree and a specialized law degree in that to provide value. So.
Well, you maybe you can go to law school at night or something.
Yeah, well, I need some advanced degree. But
show.
Yeah, how are things going for you?
They're going. It's we're kind of getting caught up in the sector downgrade that Morgan Stanley.
Where are you guys at? What's your ticker tape?
RRI.
Oh, we're bringing you guys down with us, man.
Oh yeah, it's actually we can blame this one on Calpine. I think Calpine got downgraded.
Did you guys buy?
Oh God, who the hell knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I bought you guys at 480 and thought I was a genius.
Well, everyone was saying that you should blame Dynegy, because Dynegy was acting like that deal was going to go through.
God.
So. Mm-hmm. Well, what do you want? Are you interested in that? I mean, just tell me.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we are. I would say go ahead and send it over to me, and if there's if it turns out for some reason that we can't do it, or we think we're not going to be very responsive, I'll just let you know.
Right. And I think if you guys get comfortable with the legal thing and the pricing, everyone comes in with reasonable assumptions. And I want to see it get done. I just need to watch my back that I don't get subpoenaed.
Right.
And said, hey, I'm not saying, I'm joking around to a certain extent, not subpoena so much, but I don't want, I'm looking out, there's no real benefit for me to cut this sweetheart deal and then later on just get smacked for it because of that.
No, I hear you.
I want to see the deal get done, but at the same time, we need to say it's a reasonable deal. And the first one's going to be, once you get the first one with any counterparty, let's say it's Reliant, then it's just a matter of, hey, here's all these deals. Take a look at it. What positions do you want?
No,
right? Because legally it's all the same thing.
Right.
Contractually, if you're comfortable with both WSPP and EEI, it's the same thing unless there's a one-off contract. And the pricing-wise should be fairly similar too.
Right. So. Now, which ones? I mean, which ones are done under EEI and which ones are WSPP, or is there like kind of on a percentage basis? Which ones are?
It's probably 50-50. I would say. Maybe more EEI. I don't know volume-wise. Counterparty-wise, it's probably more EEIs because there's been a real push.
Right.
Is your preference EEIs?
Yeah, our preference is definitely EEI.
Right. So there's probably, the contract I'm going to show you at Palo and Mead is WSPP.
Mm-hmm.
So that may jade you guys to either not be as interested or provide a lower price, and you just tell us that that's the case.
Right.
The El Paso contract, EEI. The Mesa contract, EEI.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's gonna depend on counterparty. You guys know the drill, man. You deal with the same counterparties. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, those guys.
Oh yeah,
you can never get an EEI done with that. You show them an EEI and they start throwing up on it for whatever reason. So.
Nah, I hear you. We know the deal.
Okay, so I'll email that to you. I really think the quicker you get back to us, the less time I waste with you.
Okay.
Just tell us, and I think more information. It was hard for you guys to make a decision the past couple weeks. It's hard for us to make a decision the past couple weeks because of everything that was happening.
Right.
I think by early next week we can get you to think, well, you should have a discussion going forward saying, assuming that the legal part is everyone gets comfortable with, when all that information comes out early next week, are we good with doing all these other things? And realizing that, you should get a good deal out of it, but it is not going to be something like if someone's sitting there thinking, I'm going to discount it at some huge rate because you have Enron or the estates at a disadvantage, well, then what's going to happen is they feel like they've got other remedies, and they rather go through an auction process or go through some type of other remedy where they one-way terminate it or unilaterally terminate the contract. So,
I hear you.
So I don't think it's worth pursuing that route, at least with me. Maybe with other people, I don't know. It was like the best was, I don't know if you've ever had this, but a counterparty calls you up and asks you for a price, and you give them your offer, and it's like, of course, the people who do that, they're looking for like balance of the week, right?
Right.
Or balance of the month, and then they don't like the price, so they talk to everyone on the floor, and it's like, this guy, does he realize we're all sitting next to each other?
Yeah.
All right, man, I got to get going.
Think Stewart's going to give you a better price than I'm going to?
Yeah, if he does, then he should communicate with me, otherwise I look like an asshole, so. All right, man.
All right, we'll see you.
All right,
bye.
Hey, Cliff.
Hey, Paul.
What's up?
How much did you get hold of your attorney?
No. I can talk to you guys as much as I can about it, and if there's any further issues that need elaboration or clarification, I can get Steve to jump on later on.
All right, so you want to explain again what you're proposing to go to the bankruptcy court with so that Karen can understand?
Hi, Paul. It's Karen Nally.
Hi, Karen. And this is just stuff that has recently come up and that people are looking to use as a process for dealing with assignments and buyouts.
Okay.
What's going to happen is Friday we have a hearing with the judge, and our lawyers are going to propose giving the estate people, which is us, the new estate, whatever you're going to call it, that was formerly known as Enron, the latitude to sign off on these assignments and buyouts, assuming that they are reasonable, and that there's some judgment involved in it. But I think with you guys, I think just assigning the deal without any cash trading hands would probably be reasonable. So I think you guys are not at risk for that reasonable test as long as we can do that.
Now understand, with this assignment at a reasonable basis, that means that the City of Mesa has to go out for an RFP. And I can have that RFP ready for Monday. That's not going to be a problem, but it's not something that we can assign willy-nilly without it being dollar for dollar because of the procurement procedures in place with the state of Arizona.
Okay, could you explain that, Cliff?
Well, I'm probably asking a question. Talking about where Enron would be able to go out and sign, basically on behalf of the bankruptcy court, if an assignment is reasonable. And you're just talking plain assignments. Are you talking about also accepting and rejecting the contract, or just assignments?
Just assignments.
Just assignments. Okay. And when you're talking assignments, you're just talking the contract as is, right?
Right.
Okay.
Now, what would you mean by reasonableness? Then, are you is somebody going to step in and take it dollar for dollar?
When you say like this contract is now in the money to Mesa by X dollars, someone needs. The state has to pay Mesa X dollars?
No. If the contract is for $38.37 on an average cost, then that's what we would be looking to receive of price from AEP, for lack of a better person.
Right.
A price of $38.37 average instead of $39.37.
Right. It would be exactly the contract that you have with us. Now, if you choose to incent someone else, and I'm not recommending you do this, but to incentivize someone else to take this contract out, you want to raise your price, that is up to you. And
okay, the process that your lawyers are going to be asking for is the ability to go ahead and do the assignment subject to a test in the sense that if someone comes in within a certain period of time and objects, then it would go back to the bankruptcy court?
No, what I meant for, I guess...
There has to be some process because if the judge is going to say, okay, yeah, Enron, and you can go ahead and do the assignment, make the decision, but then there has to be some way that someone could come in at some point and say, and I'm talking a reasonable point, like, 10 days or something.
Right.
A creditor could come in and object. I mean, is that kind of what you're looking at?
Well, and I don't know exactly what the timelines and if they're going to come in, but that's probably something that may come out of it. I'm not sure.
Okay.
When I was talking about reasonable, I meant a lot of the contracts that we're looking at have value for the estate.
Right.
And so, and these are forward contracts. So what would need to happen is you would have to bring those dollars back to today's numbers.
Okay.
And so just the discount rate, the reasonable discount, because counterparties have come up to us and said, well, we're using a 50% discount rate.
Right.
And we think that's reasonable. And I said, guys, I don't think it's reasonable, and it's just, it's out of my hands. I can tell you that the state's not going to think it's reasonable. They have other ways of extracting value from this so that the creditors get the biggest check from each deal. So that's what I meant.
Okay.
So then what I think I hear you saying is come next Friday, or come Friday, which is the day after.
Right, and then probably all the details come out Monday.
Right.
On this.
Then you're hoping to have the ability from the courts to say, okay, AP, PNM, whoever, Penn West, City of Mesa's contract is out. It's sitting here. If you want it, this is what you're going to have to do.
Right.
And
Okay, so you would determine the reasonableness of whatever might the value to the estate would be?
Right. Right. They would task us with figuring out what the reasonableness is.
Do we have the ability to accept or reject the assignment?
Yes. You got these are for all assignments that are under consent by the party, in which is obviously Mesa.
Okay.
So you guys,
what do we need to do to get on the table?
What do you guys need to do?
Right.
Find someone to assign it with.
Okay.
Okay. What happens?
What's our time frame? I mean,
well, I think that.
I guess, if the court's going to give you that authority,
right,
then we're not going to have to go back in front of the bankruptcy court unless someone objects.
Right.
I mean, that's the way I'm.
Right, and that's why we have so many contracts.
Right.
To have every contract go in front of the judge is just not expeditious.
Oh, right. It's not feasible.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. So that's why we think that there's a good likelihood if the judge it seems like this judge is no nonsense and someone who wants to be friendly to the creditors, and we have assets that could potentially decline these contracts. And so we think he's going to be motivated to give us the latitude to look at doing reasonable deals. And with your contract, let's say there's two counterparties that are interested. Whoever's willing to provide the most value for the estate is going to get that contract.
Okay.
Assuming you guys sign off on it. If you guys are indifferent to it. So we need your consent, obviously.
Right.
And you're not going to sign something unilaterally.
Right. You can't. That's right. But when you say value for the estate, are you looking like a payoff from...
Well, I guess what we're looking at is if there's two counterparties that are interested,
right,
we're going to take whoever gives us the most value for the estate. As a fiduciary responsibility to the estate, we have to do that.
Right.
Now, if someone says, I'm willing to do it flat, and someone else says, well, you have to pay me money, obviously we go with the flat number.
Right.
So.
Okay, so what happens? You open the door there that you're looking for. What happens if I can't get anybody that's going to take the contract for the dollar because it's below market? They can't, or above market. Let's see, it would have to be below market.
Right.
Then it's below market, and they're going to lose money by taking it over.
Right.
So what happens in that scenario?
Then I think we're at a standstill unless you guys are willing to sweeten the deal for someone else, or some other person comes in that says, hey, willing to pay X dollars. Otherwise, you become, that's it.
Okay. Enron would not be willing to entertain a thought process of backing out of the contract.
You mean just terminating? You guys just terminate the contract?
Right, reject.
You would have to terminate it. We can't terminate it.
Yeah, like if you
guys can.
Go ahead.
I think you guys can terminate it, right?
No,
because we're in default.
Our bankruptcy counsel is advising us that at this point, no, we have to wait for you to either accept, reject, or if we can come up with an assignment.
Right. I think Cliff and Karen,
yes.
If you guys were to say we can't find anyone that's acceptable, and I just off the record, off the cuff,
sure.
No lawyers have heard me, have I kind of talked to a lawyer about it? If you guys would just say, let's just terminate this deal. We need some certainty with our supplier, and we can't find anyone to do it, and you want to open it up to an RFP process.
Right.
Then I think we would accept that.
Okay, so come Friday, you're going to go forward with asking for us to be included in the reasonableness clause.
Right.
Well, are you just doing a blanket?
It's a blanket, yeah. It's not specific to Mesa. It's a blanket.
It's a blanket one.
Right.
Okay. So if we could somehow find somebody, then we would go to you. If you've been granted the authority, then we would work with you or whatever group would be processing these things.
Right.
And give all the information. Okay.
Right.
And then if we can't find that person, and I'm going to be frank with you.
We're having a hard time here.
I'm down to AEP. That's my last fish in the bowl.
Okay.
Everybody else has indicated that there's no way they can even touch the price. They said the price is so far above.
You guys did a great job negotiating the price.
Yeah.
Cliff, you did too good of a job.
Yeah, that's what I told them.
That's why you're in bankruptcy.
That's why we're in bankruptcy. You guys are You guys are responsible for us. No, it's obviously not the reason. We got
I'm
a
sure
bunch
we
of
are.
crooks at top. And I'll say that even if I'm in a recorded line. It's true.
So what I'm saying then is after next Monday, when you come back and say, Cliff, guess what? We've got approval to assign. Do you have anybody to assign? And we go to AEP and say, okay, it's time to put up or shut up. And they say, I'm sorry, we can't assign or we can't take assignment because it's too far out of the money. Then you would be willing to do the rejection clause?
Hopefully.
And what's the rejection clause?
Just reject the contract.
Under 360.
Just abrogating the contract.
Yes, negating the
contract.
it
would be under the bankruptcy code under 365.
Yeah.
Enron has 60 days to accept or reject contracts.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, at this point, we're stuck.
Yeah, my feeling is that the estate's going to say, hey, this deal's underwater for us.
Yeah, well, that's what we're hoping you would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess, yeah.
Okay.
So, and again, this is a non-qualified, Paul Choi with nothing more than an undergraduate degree saying that.
Yeah, no, we understand that.
Yeah, we're not going to hold it to you to follow through with it.
But I mean, it just makes practical sense.
Right. Yeah. Well, this just helps me understand. I need to get an RFP on the street tomorrow or Friday so that we can address the issue before prices start swinging all over the place.
Right.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. So, so you're doing it Friday the 14th is when you're going into court for this request?
That is the plan.
Okay.
And that is the plan.
That's the plan. Okay.
So Monday you'll be able to let me know.
I'm hoping that Friday I can give you a call, Cliff, with good news.
All right. Well, you have my cell phone number.
Yes, I do.
That's going to be the best bet Friday.
We just really appreciate, Paul. We know you have so much other stuff to do, but you've been really responsive.
No, you guys, I feel bad about the whole situation. And it's something that, you can sit there and wash your hands and say I wasn't party to this mess. But at the same time, you guys, I was looking forward to this long-term relationship with Mesa, and we've already had a long-term relationship on the gas side.
Right.
And, something like this happens where you completely feel helpless and you feel bad for everyone involved. And it's just,
we appreciate that
situation.
Because you didn't have to do that. And in fact, it's funny, I was talking to our bankruptcy lawyer last week, and I said, well, we have a contact at Enron. He said, well, you're probably not going to hear from anyone. And you called on Cliff's cell phone right that second.
Right
I said, when I was talking to him, telling him, and he's telling me, you're not going to hear from anyone. I'm like, well, let me tell you, we're really impressed.
And I just think, I feel good that you guys are saying that, but I just think that's professionalism. That's the normal course of business. And
it is.
People who don't practice that, I think you don't want to bring the standard down to that level.
Well, we appreciate it, though. We just wanted to let you know that because you've really been working with us and been very, very responsive and helpful.
Thanks.
We do appreciate that.
And I think one thing is, and I think what we should try to sell AP on, and I know the guys over at AP, they're good guys, is, hey, I know the contract may be underwater under the, our current methodology of pricing deals is taking the next 1 year strip of prices and then adding the CPI on it.
Right.
Which, to me, sometimes is a little ridiculous. But, there is some strategic element to partnering up with you guys. And that's one of the reasons why we did a deal that I thought was, right at our mids or right at what, the market, I thought a pretty good price. So hopefully, we can convince them on that and we can have a clean transfer to AP. Because those AP guys, a lot of our former Enron guys, they're good guys.
Oh, okay.
Well, I may call you up and say, hey, you want to get on the phone with me with Josie and see if we can...
Yeah, I know Josie. I know Josie's boss, Greg, who I used to work with, and just tremendous guy.
All right. Well, she's got a call into me right now, but I wanted to talk to you first so I have an understanding before I talk to her because we talked earlier today, and she was going to check some things out and then get back with me.
Okay. I appreciate that, Claire.
Not a problem.
Thanks,
Thanks for all your help.
Take care.
Bye.